Thank you so much. Yes, I agree that the war in Ukraine and like China's approach towards Taiwan and also the tensions and the war in the Middle East are posing real threats for all security, we can say, and global security. But I see more issues on really fragmentation of, we can say, blocks that represented values that are more obvious than ever. So these three conflicts are posing threats, but the real threat I see within the fragmentation that is very obvious inside of those that are presenting values. For first time, we have fragmentation in, we can say, relations of countries that are representing democratic values. And we have also fragmentations on the other sides. We don't have any authoritarian, we can say, bloc that really is dealing with the other part of the world. So we see fragmentation that we never saw, at least for the last 100 years. And this fragmentation comes because we see that like world and countries are not more weighting values prior to interest. So looking for interest more than for values, always it's leaving more space for fragmentation and for issues that world is facing now and will face in future. Like until now, we had mostly two blocks, you can say, after the Cold War. We had democratic countries and we had those countries that didn't present, we can say, democratic values. Now the partnership and alliance are moving toward interest more than toward values. That is a really big issue that world will face in the future. I see that improvements, we can say, of relations and we can say also the future of the world depends how we see the partnership and alliances for the future. And I see that still, if we need really, and if we want to have peace and security in the world, we have to focus on values rather than in like interests that countries could have. So we have to be prepared for both scenarios, like having this fragmentation inside of countries that are representing values and or going back to partnership and we can say friendship of countries that are presenting values. Normally, the war in Ukraine just kind of emphasized all this. The Russian approach toward Ukraine and toward other countries just re-emphasized that the uncertainty, we can say that it's coming, it's very high. It is very hard to anticipate what will come next, but still we can do a lot if we base our friendship and partnership on values rather than our own interest. I know that we cannot kind of differ interest from values many times, but values should serve as basement to build interest and not the opposite one. And I believe that having in consideration all this technological, we can say, advancements, especially in military part, the role of women in security is becoming more important than ever. During the past, like we had this stereotype or prejudice that women has not that, we can say, physical strength in order to become, we can say, important part of military units, but no, especially the war in Ukraine and technological, we can say, innovations shows that the woman's role will increase in the future, and I believe that this forum and other forums should emphasize this part also. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I think in terms of geopolitical conflicts, I don't think we have had a more troubled moment in the recent history, and probably the recent history since the Second World War. I've been a defense executive for 15 years, and I'm putting it nicely. What I mean is I've been for 15 years selling deterrence to countries, from warfighter to missiles and more. And I have seen how in times where there is no conflict, the interest of the countries to invest in defense goes really low, and in times like this, the interest is really high. One thing that a lot of leaders and politicians don't get right about defense is then you don't just buy defense today. Defense needs time to evolve, to be produced. It's usually standard. If you purchase something for the safety of your own country, you need at least 3 years to wait to get it. So I think this is a critical moment worldwide to understand that security and defense cannot be outsourced. What does that mean? That every country needs to have their sovereign resources, and they have to have a level of industrial base in order to guarantee the sovereignty of their country. It is very important. The other thing is, today war is no longer about military readiness. 20 years ago, it used to be, you got your troops, you got your military equipment, something hits you, you're ready to fire back. It's no longer like that. Today, we are in a very disruptive era. Today, everything is changing, continually changing. There are great defense products that served countries 5 years ago, and today they have to go major changes. For example, you can have the fastest missile in the world today. One country can have the best missile in the world. If you don't have the command and control of that missile, which is the command and control is nothing else but written code, it is a software, then that missile won't go anywhere. We have the other element, which is cyber threats. Cyber threats, we face them every day. Cyber threats are not only a matter of we are in a war and we're facing threats. It's everywhere. Sometimes when I talk to people, and what I used to say to my previous customers, which were usually ministers of defense in different countries, used to be, how far do you think your enemy is? And some of these countries were in times of peace, and they would say, well, I don't know, you know, probably Russia, it's far away, right? They cannot reach us. And I used to say, your closest enemy or your furthest enemy is as near where your territorial waters are, because you can have a ship from any country get near your territorial waters or near your border and jam every electronic device in your country, including your military command and control, which means your entire defense system will be paralyzed.
And economic to build a platform in which
So, ladies, this panel, we counterparts, starting from Minister Maqedonci, from the Minister Representative for Women, Peace and Security, Mr. Jadjevsky, Editor of Humor, Director of the National Security Agency here based in Montreal.